Daughter's safety, and it's due to something in her front yard. She tells us her yard tested positive for high levels of lead in January, but she says she's still waiting for someone to help solve the problem. And as Stephanie LaChance shows us, she may be forced to wait even longer. Stephanie.
It's been 3 years since this area right here in the south side part of Chattanooga was added to the EPA's national priority list back in 2018, and only a quarter of those properties have since been remediated. A doctor says the longer lead exposure lingers, the higher the risk.
Is my baby going to be affected by this, or is this going to cause some kind of trauma or delay?
Tara Duncan Rodriguez has lived in Highland Park since 2005. She is an 18-year-old and a 3-year-old. Her youngest, Gabby, has autism.
We've been exposed to all of this for so long, and what's going on in our bodies.
Her neighbor recently informed her about the lead levels that have been on the EPA's national priorities list since 2018. Lead exposure in children is something Dr. Andrea Goins, pediatrician at Erlanger, is familiar with.
We know that lead in the soil and in paint affects kids in various different ways. We know is that their behavior is affected as well as their academic abilities later on. So some of the things that we see are these kids have a higher rate of ADHD, anxiety, some developmental delays, as well as some overall behavior problems.
The Duncan Rodriguez yard showed lead levels of 459 ppm from her front yard and 552 ppm from their backyard. According to this chart by the EPA, over 400 ppm is a hazard for kids. Even though they just got the results, this email from May 6th shows the EPA may not be able to fix your yard until the end of the year. We asked what this could mean for this little girl's health.
So the longer that they're exposed to it, then the higher those levels are going to be.
The Duncan Rodriguez family is just hoping that they can get this figured out and hope it doesn't impact Gabby down the line.
And I want to give, my children and my husband, and we all want to live the best life we can.
Dr. Goins tells me that if any parent in this area has some sort of concern, they should contact their pediatrician for a lead test. Reporting live in Hamilton County, I'm Stephanie LaChance, News Channel 9.
All right, Stephanie, thank you. And Dr. Goins recommends these areas contact their physicians, their pediatricians to get their kids' lead levels tested. The EPA data shows 43% of the Southside households have been sampled. 25% have been remediated so far.
A global